Today we are going to explore a country like no other, known for its beauty, vivid culture, and positive people. I am so excited for today's episode. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jackie, and if you're new here, I make videos on exploring different cultures and lifestyles, and I love virtually learning about the world. So if you're into that, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Today we are going back to my roots, and we're going to talk about 10 reasons why I love traveling and visiting the Philippines. If you all don't know, I am Filipino American, so I'll be talking about the people, the cultures, the food, and the places of the Philippines. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. And of course, let's get cozy, let's get comfy. My favorite thing to do, grab your favorite drink. I got water, of course, kind of boring, but that's okay. I got my lemongrass essential oil to make me feel happy. And let's get started. So I just want to say that I actually haven't been back to the Philippines since 2015, I believe. So it's been quite a while, but I think it's fun actually remembering just the beautiful memories, the people, and it is one of the best countries in the world in my opinion. I know probably not financially or economically, but just the people over there and the memories. So the first reason why I love going to the Philippines is because it's absolutely beautiful. They have amazing scenery. There's so many islands. I believe there's around 7,000 islands in the Philippines, but people love to island hop and just explore the different scenery. There's so many waterfalls and beaches, beautiful white sand beaches, warm water. And actually I remember when I was younger, there was this restaurant in the Philippines where you can eat next to the waterfalls, like you're actually in the water, but there's tables where you can eat. And that was a really cool experience, especially being a child and just seeing the water come down while you're eating your sinigang or whatever. And yeah, you're just like so one with nature when you're in the Philippines. I can actually make a whole video on the places to go in the Philippines, and I can talk to my friends who have been to these islands and know the beauty of it. I can't really describe how I feel when I'm seeing like something so incredibly profound in front of my eyes, especially when it comes to nature. And I went to this town called Tagaytay, which is around 40 minutes from Manila, and it's a more like quieter city. It's surrounded by like water and little tiny islands, and we would go up the mountain and just look at the views, and wow, like that's what makes life so beautiful, is just how amazing this world is created. But I recommend to spend a lot of time in nature. Some of the nature in the Philippines is untouched as well, so that's one of the best views in my opinion. And so that's something you have to do when you go to the Philippines. So food is the next reason why you should visit the Philippines. Oh my gosh. Filipino food is just so flavorful. It's like a burst of excitement in your mouth, whatever dish you try. One of my favorites would have to be sinigang, of course. I love sinigang, which is like this soup dish with pork or chicken, and it's kind of like a sour taste, but I love it. But people tend to like sisig as well, which is, if you're Mexican, it's kind of like al pastor, so it's like pork and it's like sizzling pork on your plate. And Filipino food just has a lot of garlic, vinegar, a lot of seasoning, different sauces, and it's just a fusion of like Asian and a little bit of Spanish. And something that makes Filipino food amazing is also eating a lot of like garlic rice with your dishes. I love garlic rice. It reminds me of my grandma because she used to make it every morning. So the Philippines is also known for their seafood as well. We love eating shrimp, we love eating fish, crabs. That reminds me of my grandpa. He would love like peeling crabs and lobsters and buffets. But yeah, so we love seafood, and to me there's just nothing like Filipino food. Other dishes that I can think about, of course, is lumpia. That's like, obviously, like Americans know what lumpia is. There's this delicious dish called kare-kare, which is like a peanut-based curry, I guess you can say, and a whole different bunch of like soup recipes. There's pancit, palabok, caldereta. All of it just reminds me of home and just going back. So yeah, food is a really big part of Filipino culture. There's this thing in the Philippines where it's like you're with your family and you eat like on banana leaves, and your food is just like on the banana leaves, and you eat with your hands. So you have to have clean hands, of course, but you're just eating your food and socializing with family and just having a really great time. Food and family goes kind of hand in hand. So you're with your family at the table, you're eating, you're talking, you're laughing. And I just remember like staying up until 1 or 2 a.m. being there on the table with my family and just talking and socializing with the karaoke in the background, and it was really fun. I miss those days. Another thing is that you will always be well fed.
You like chicken adobo?
You got chicken
We have adobo! Yes! You want to eat? Chicken adobo.
Chicken adobo.
You will eat first, huh? Apple!
When you're in the Philippines, people there are always like, oh, do you want more? Like, get more food. You know, they always just want to like take care of you and make sure that you're not hungry. That's really beautiful too about the culture, is that they're just so like loving and caring. So you will definitely enjoy the food culture when you visit the Philippines. All right, number 3 is people in the Philippines are hospitable for the most part. It's a very hospitable culture to begin with. You'll see a lot of Filipinos in the hotel industry because they love serving people. It's always the customers right in the Philippines as well. They love talking to people, they love serving people. Even if you're like in the mall, they'll call you by like either ma'am or sir.
You go up to the counter, you're gonna get some chicken joy number 5. And a guy behind the counter greets me, "Welcome to Jollibee, can I help you, ma'am, sir?" Ma'am, sir! Oh my God!
So it's like wherever you go, it's a very like family vibe. Everyone's going to greet you, whether you go to the mall, to the restaurant, to your friends or family's houses, they're always greeting you. And yeah, like even as a Filipino American, whenever we'd go to like my family's house or my friends' houses who are also Filipino, you'd always have to like go up to someone and say hi to them and hug them. Hi tito, hi tita, and like hug them, kiss them. Something I've noticed as well is that it's easier to make friends in the Philippines. It's like an instant connection that you can make in the Philippines, and I kind of experienced that in my life a little bit. I've had some friends who I met from the Philippines where it's just so easy to talk to them, so easy to have conversations and become closer to them. You might be able to make really good friends if you ever travel to the Philippines, so it's definitely a great reason to visit. Number 4, this one's a bit strange, but I like it because I love spas, but the spas are pretty cheap unless you go to like a high-end resort spa. But if you go to like a normal spa to get a massage or a facial, it's definitely not as expensive as it is here in the US. I remember when I visited in the past, my uncle would take all of us to get massages like almost every day. And I don't know how much it was, but it must have been around like $10 to $20 to get a high-end like 5-star experience, like massage on your body. I think that's where I fell in love with the whole like, you know, pampering yourself experience, because ever since I was little, I always loved getting massages and getting facials and things like that. So yeah, in the Philippines they have a really big like spa culture, yeah, where you just take care of your body, you get massages. It was nice. I really enjoyed that a lot. I just enjoyed the whole like relaxing experience and vibe of the Philippines. All right, reason number 5 is that the Filipinos love to have fun, so you will have a great time when you visit the Philippines. Yeah, the Filipinos just love to have fun, to laugh, to listen to music, to dance, to sing. It really is a really happy country. But from my experience, whenever I'm around the people in the Philippines, it's always a very like comfortable and happy atmosphere. I remember sometimes in the Philippines, where my grandparents used to live, at nighttime the garages would be open and people would just be like hanging out in their garages, or like I remember like at nighttime neighbors would like hang out outside in the neighborhood and they would just eat their dinner, or you would hear karaoke, everyone would just be talking, and it was more of like a community aspect of it, like even in the neighborhoods. Yeah, like here in America it's very individualistic, like you probably wouldn't know your neighbors that well, but over there in the Philippines I remember my mom just like, you know, waving hi to like her old childhood friend from like 30 years ago, selling food, you know, down the street, and it's just more of a community aspect. Yeah, you'll always see Filipinos singing or dancing. I remember one time we went to like a taping of this TV show in the Philippines called Wawawi, and it's just a show filled with like singing and dancing for like, it was like 4 hours. But I think that's where I got my love of performing. Because I'm Filipino, I don't know if it's just in me, but I love it. I love to be around that whole like talented energy, and it's just nice to be around people who love life. All right, reason number 6 is that Filipinos love helping because it's a very community-oriented culture. I already said that in like the last point, but that's a very big part of the culture in general, is to help one another, to help your family, to help your neighbors, to help your children. So there's this Filipino word called bayanihan, and it's basically just like having a very community-oriented mindset, to be unified and to work together to achieve like a certain goal. So it's like a very unified culture. People are always helping their neighbors. Even in my own neighbor is a Filipino. He'll always help us whenever we are like carrying heavy furniture in the house, or like even one time he gave me a pumpkin and he told me that I can make this Filipino dish with this pumpkin. But they're always wanting to help people, and I think that's so beautiful, because a lot of the time, especially here in America, it's like you feel ashamed when you ask for help, or like, you know, if someone offers to help you with the groceries, most people here will be like, oh no, it's okay. But over there, like, it's just so normal to help each other, either with food or helping to carry something in someone's house, helping with a specific project to build something. And that also boils down to like families as well. Like, families will help each other with everything. And even for Filipino parents, like, they will do so much for their kids, to provide for them, to take care of them, to pay for college for them, work crazy hours so that they can give their kids everything. Am I gonna cry now? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Didn't think I would get emotional at that. I don't know, I think it's just so beautiful. Like, your parents, I mean, maybe it's not just Filipino people or Filipino parents, but when your parents do so much for you to have a better life, I think it's so beautiful. So when you visit the Philippines, don't be surprised if you have a lot of people like wanting to be your friend and wanting to help you. And even if you're like an American and can't speak Tagalog, they will help you, tell you directions, tell you where to go, tell you where to have fun. Like, it's just a really beautiful environment. As you can tell, I'm now more so talking about the Philippine culture. The next reason is that Filipinos are generally hardworking. This is why I was crying in the last and the last point, was because a lot of Filipino families will do whatever they can to provide for their families. The Philippines is actually known for having a lot of their people go to different countries to make better money and then send that money home to the people in the Philippines. Am I gonna cry again? I think, why am I so emotional right now? Oh my gosh. Crazy. You'll see a lot of Filipinos in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, all over the Middle East as like nannies to take care of the kids. You'll also see a lot of Filipinos in Japan and Hong Kong as well. And that's where they make the money to bring to the Philippines. And now here in the US, that's why we have so many Filipino nurses here. And nursing is actually a really good profession. And a lot of them, of course, make money and really try to take care of their family who are still in the Philippines. So that's really beautiful. We're hardworking people, but also we know how to have fun and to be with family, to be with friends, and to enjoy life as well. And to be honest, I was gonna talk more about the next two topics, which is how Filipinos love to perform and Filipinos are family oriented, but I already said those things like a million times in the past. So not gonna get into that because I don't want to cry as well. But the last point is that the Philippines is a very like relaxed and balanced environment if you are there as like a traveler or just there on vacation. I don't know what it's like specifically if you live there, but whenever I go to the Philippines, I feel like all my worries just melt away for some reason. Like, I just loved being in my family's houses where I could like relax, and I just felt like life was a lot easier there. And I don't know if that's true, but I know a lot of my family members like actually go back to the Philippines because they say that life is easier in the Philippines. People take siestas, kind of like in Latin America and Spain. People tend to not like get overworked or burnt out in the Philippines because there's more to life than just work. Even though I said that they were hardworking in my last point, still they know how to be balanced and have fun and enjoy life. But yeah, like I said, like Filipinos love to like get pampered, go get massages, getting like your hair done and your eyelashes done or whatever. All that's very cheap there as well, so you can pamper yourself. The slower pace of life, it's a more balanced view of life. Oh yeah, and then also like why I find it so relaxing is because sometimes your food will be prepared for you. Like I remember just waking up for breakfast and then we had the Filipino breakfast with like a freshly cut mango right there in front of you, and it's just the best breakfast in the whole entire world, and it's just not stressful at all. So as a young adult, you know, you can live with your parents until you get married pretty much, and you don't have to worry too much about like, you know, the stress of trying to make it out there on your own, because you have family, you have your community that can help you. There's not as much like materialistic stresses, but again, like I said, a lot of people there do experience hardships in different ways. And yeah, that is why I definitely love going to the Philippines, and I recommend you all to travel there someday as well. Again, I would love to bring my husband to the Philippines and meet some family that I have over there, but most of my family is already here in the US. So yeah, that was the 10 reasons why I love going to the Philippines and why I recommend you all to travel there as well in the future. It definitely is a beautiful country with amazing, hospitable, friendly, kind, caring people. You will not be disappointed with the food. And actually, it's super, super affordable in the Philippines as well. So even though it might cost a lot to actually fly there, you can save a lot of money in the Philippines. I hope you all enjoyed. Sorry I got a little bit emotional just thinking about how amazing my culture is. But I hope you learned a little bit more about my culture. I know that I didn't go too in depth on where to go in the Philippines and what islands to go to and beaches and all of that. Maybe in another video, let me know. But this is more so just about appreciating the culture and wanting to go back someday. So I hope that this video helps you all. I love you so much. Let me know what other countries you'd like to learn about. I have a lot in my mind as well. So if you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!